Okay, so what I'm going to show you guys is how to not lose your files if you're in the lab, a good way to back them up. And I'm also going to show you a good way to turn in your files in order to make sure that you meet all of the criteria. Okay, so first off, if I'm going to save my files, I come to this main window. These may be closed, right? So if we start all the way closed, this window is maximized. I can click on the sources and the source file properties. It pops up. Down here in source file properties, if I select one of them, it shows me where they are, right? That's this location. I can right click and copy. I can go to any old file browser window, hit Control V, paste it into here and hit enter. Mux and Mux4 are my files. I can go up a level, see the sources. Sim is where my test bench files are. So I want to make sure I keep at least those two files. So this intro.sources, SRCS, you should have a file like this. You can right click on it, browse to send to, click compressed folder. Boom. This is now a compressed folder that has all of those files that you need in it. And you can upload that to Google Drive or send it via email or save it on a flash. Should work just fine. If you want to save the whole project, which is this project file, you double click on it, it opens it, references everything. Very useful to have. Then you go up just one level from here. You go to wherever you've saved that project folder, you right click on it and send to compressed folder. Same thing. Once it's compressed, if I want it back out, I right click and say extract all. It'll pop all those files back out, ready to use. Okay. Now, if you want to save your files in a good way, there's a kind of good way that I don't like as much, and it won't work very well on mine, which is you can print to PDF. So if I hit Control P and I select print to Adobe PDF, there is also Microsoft print to PDF and so on and so forth. I hit OK. It pops up. It wants me to save something. You see that I have this before. I'll save it, replace it. It pops up. Now, my text is huge because I've made it really big so that it's visible when I demonstrate, but this prints. The issue with this, besides the massive text, is that it is all just black and white text. I'm not a fan. What I do like to do, remember how I showed you inside the project files? Let's go to the intro, sources, new mux. This is the file I'm talking about. Right click on it. There is a program that I absolutely love for various reasons called Notepad++. It is free to download, free to use, and wonderfully helpful. So the color on this is a little bit weird because I've changed it in order to be friendly. If you open this and it has a .vhd file, it should default to the language VHDL. If it doesn't, hit language VHDL. Make sense? Easy peasy. Okay. Now, if I want to print this now, I can hit Control P. Again, save to a PDF, print. I'm going to do that Java 2. I would choose a better name. I'm just using what it defaulted to. And save. I'm going to replace it. Now see, it has line numbers and useful coloration for things like keywords. This is my favorite. I would go ahead and download Notepad++. This is the best way to turn in a file that works the way that I want it to. And what I mean is, let's go ahead and look at the lab. At the end of this lab, there are 20 points. This is just from the lab notebook. This is easy. You take a picture of it, convert it to a PDF, and combine it with all the other stuff. Clear title, same thing. Claim ops and derived logic. This just comes from your previous lab in this case, right? VHDL for the 1-bit full adder. This one I actually didn't guide you guys through. I forgot. Normally I would have you test bench and simulate just one of those adders. I had you guys skip to the 2-bit full adder. I'm probably not going to mark points down for this one missing on this lab. Lab book contains VHDL for the 2-bit adder, right? You're going to use that Notepad++, print it, add it to a PDF, test bench, and simulation. So test bench is the code. The simulation is the waveform. Lab book contains a block diagram. We've talked about what those are. Draw the blocks, make sure the nets are labeled, all of them. No obliterations, that's just a technical standpoint thing. Signed and dated, hopefully you got that in the lab. Page numbers and dated, to be perfectly honest, I am very lax on that, but try and do it anyways in case I decide to grade it. And then make sure it works before it's due, right? This is where all of your points come from. There are no mystery points. There's nothing else. Just make sure this works. Preferably roughly in order, right? Put your 1-bit before the 2-bit VHDL. Don't cram it together. Make sure you don't print it weird. Yeah. That way you can get all of your points.